Deep Dive. Today, we're tearing into a topic that gets a lot of buzz, but maybe isn't always fully unpacked. Tech's bro culture toxicity. You've probably seen the stereotype, right? The tech bro. Often painted as this, well, immature, boisterous jerk.
Yeah.
Someone who gets big and suddenly adopts this whole frat boy thing. Our goal here is to get past those caricatures. We're going deep into articles, into research, expert analysis, really try to understand what's going on.
Exactly. And to really understand it, we have to look beyond, just the stories, the anecdotes. We need to dig into the data, the evidence, give you a solid data-driven picture of how widespread this is and what it actually does.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. So, bro culture, what are we actually talking about? What are the key parts? Well, the sources really point strongly towards hustle culture being fundamental.
Yeah.
That relentless pressure, right? Work insane hours, put your personal life on hold, all for the company. It's this belief that nonstop striving and taking massive risks are the only ways up, where recklessness is rewarded.
And that recklessness is rewarded idea. It's interesting. It often goes beyond just taking big business risks. Sometimes it seems to celebrate cutting corners, maybe ignoring ethical stuff or, not thinking long term, just for that quick win, which really eats away at trust, doesn't it? It makes things less sustainable. And it ties right into something called a tyrannical meritocracy.
Tyrannical meritocracy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's that about?
Well, it creates this bubble, almost. People inside genuinely think their success comes only from their own will and effort. It makes them kind of blind to systemic advantages or, the real difficulties others face. It fosters this very class-blind attitude, ignoring where people started from or privileges they had. And a definite sense of being better.
And that attitude, well, obviously leads to a very exclusive sort of place. We're talking a hyper-masculine, competitive environment, one that, sources show, tends to favor young white men. And that term, cultural fit, it often just becomes a code word, right? A euphemism for hiring the same kind of person over and over, which pushes out women, people of color, older folks too.
Yeah, building on that exclusivity. What's really stark is seeing the actual numbers, the measurable costs, especially for DEI efforts. I mean, think about this. Women are still only about 35% of the tech workforce in the US, and for racial and ethnic minorities, even lower. You look at big companies like Google, their own data shows Black workers around 5.7%, Latinx folks at 7.5%. That's not representative. And then there's the gender pay gap, which just persists.
It's not just the numbers, the representation stuff. There are real psychological costs too, often hidden. That hustle culture we mentioned, it directly leads to burnout.
Right.
We saw figures 62% of tech workers saying they feel physically and emotionally drained.
Yeah.
62%, that's huge.
And if you connect that to the neuroscience, a constantly toxic environment can actually start to rewire your brain. Chronic stress keeps triggering your amygdala. That's your brain's, threat detector. Fight or flight. When that's always on, it pulls resources away from your prefrontal cortex. That's the part you need for reasoning, complex decisions, collaborating with people. So it literally impacts your ability to think clearly and work well. It's not just feeling stressed.
Right. Now, we should probably acknowledge there are nuances. Some people ask, is bro culture even real? Is it just a stereotype? And, sources point out that it's not just women or minorities who dislike these environments. A lot of men are turned off by them, too. The tech industry isn't just one thing, right? It's diverse. Lots of great, inclusive companies out there. And there's also the argument that hustle, if it's driven by actual passion and good leadership, not just toxicity, well, maybe that can be positive, can drive innovation.
That definitely raises the key question. Okay, so what do we do about it? And the deep insight seems to be change has to start at the very top. Leadership has to be fully committed. You need clear goals, metrics, actual accountability. We saw this with Uber's big EEOC settlement, $4.4 million. It really shone a light on needing to deal with those superstar harassers, people often protected because they bring in money, even if their behavior is toxic.
That's a really important point. And in hiring, the idea isn't just swapping culture fit for culture add. It's about really understanding that innovation comes from different ways of thinking. Cognitive diversity, so actively looking for people who challenge the status quo, bring genuinely new viewpoints, using tools like blind screening, maybe AI, to focus on skills, not just unconscious bias, getting fresh perspectives in the door.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you listening?
Well, bro culture seems like more than just a meme. It looks like a real, often toxic force, one that can genuinely hold back innovation and, keep these disparities going in the tech world.
Absolutely. And the long-term health, the success of the tech industry really depends on moving past it and truly embracing diversity, real collaboration, and thinking ethically about the future. So here's something to think about. The Beyond what leaders or companies do from the top down, what role do you think individual tech workers play in changing this culture?